Welcome to the topic on other HR management. Apart from the crew management, payroll management, ports of call management and rest hour management activities, a master also has to perform certain HR management activities. In this topic, you will learn about various activities that you need to perform as a part of HR management. You will also receive guidance on how you can perform these tasks using WinAdme. The topic also includes a practice exercise towards the end, where you can try your hands at performing various crew management tasks. So let's get started. As a master, you are responsible for performing personal appraisals. Also, in case the crew members require medical attention, you are responsible for creating and maintaining their medical records. There may be times when crew members have some complaints. You, as a master, are responsible for registering the complaints and maintaining the appropriate records. Let's start with the first activity, performing personal appraisals. The crew appraisal process begins with Phase 1, which is sign-on talk. This is performed within 10 days of embarkation. In this phase, the crew member signs on and the master then conducts the sign-on talk. At the end of this phase, the personal objectives for the crew member are set. Phase 2 is mid-term appraisal, which is conducted mid-contract. In this phase, the master conducts the mid-term appraisal meeting. The last phase is the final appraisal. This is conducted within 2 weeks prior to disembarkation. Here, the crew member first conducts a self-appraisal, and then the master conducts the final appraisal interview. Under the crew appraisal section, you can see your historical appraisals conducted within the last 2 years. At the same time, it also captures all the steps for conducting the appraisal on your current vessel. Click the button to view a demonstration of the performing personal appraisals process. To approve crew appraisals, click the Crew Appraisal section icon. The Crew Appraisal List window lists the names of crew members awaiting approval. There are 5 stages of appraisal: sign-on talk, mid-term appraisal, conclusion and status. After each stage, the status on the Crew Appraisal List window changes. The steps followed to complete each stage are more or less similar. In this training, we will take an example of sign-on talk. The Crew Appraisal List window shows a status against each of the crew members. There are 5 different statuses available. A green dot indicates that the crew member's sign-on talk is finalised. A yellow dot indicates that the mid-term appraisal is finalised. A purple dot indicates that the crew member's self-appraisal is finalised. A blue dot indicates that the supervisor appraisal is finalised. And a red tick indicates that the master has closed the appraisal and the crew member is ready for sign-off. An exclamation mark shows that there is some action pending on the record. The Appraisal List Historic section displays a crew member's historical appraisal records. You can double-click a record to see the details of the selected appraisal report. In this example, this is Johan Larsson's first contract, so this window is blank. The historical appraisals will start appearing from next contract onwards. To approve the appraisal of the crew member, double-click on the crew member's name. On the Crew Appraisal Details window, the crew member first enters the personal objectives and selects Entries Completed checkbox. As a master, you select the name of the crew member from the Supervisor Master drop-down list. Note that in instances where you fill out the personal objectives for the crew member, you must tick Entries Completed. The crew member will then acknowledge what is written and tick Seen. Once the crew member marks the personal objectives as seen, the Seen checkbox will show as checked and the date will be populated now the sign-on talk step is ready to be finalised. The master or selected supervisor can then mark the sign-on talk as finalised by checking the Finalise checkbox. The date gets populated automatically. Click the OK button. Click the Yes button on the WinAdme dialog box. The status will turn green to depict that the sign-on talk process is complete. Prior to sign-off, it is necessary to print the appraisal and get it signed by the master, supervisor and the crew member. A signed copy of the appraisal should be handed over to the crew member for his records. You have completed viewing the demonstration on performing personal appraisals. Click Next to proceed. Let's proceed to the next task: creating medical records and record keeping. When a crew member needs to see a doctor in case of an accident or illness, you need to create a medical report in WinAdme. Click the button to view a demonstration of the steps involved in the checking crew personal details process. To create medical records for crew members, click the Medical section icon. Next, click the Insert New Medical Record icon. The medical record window opens. Enter the required details, including details about the treatment that was given on board, in the Accident Illness Details field in the Ship and Personal Details tab. This report is then printed and taken to the doctors. The doctors write their observations, diagnosis, treatment, etc. on this printed report, and the crew member brings it back to the ship. Click the Treatment Details tab. In the Treatment Details tab, enter all the details, including the diagnosis given by the doctor regarding the treatment of the crew member. Click the Sign Off Details tab. The fields in the Sign Off Details tab get activated if the crew member is recommended to be signed off. These details should be entered. If sign-off is not recommended, no action should be taken in this step. Select Close Medical Record by Master checkbox to close the report and create it as a PDF file. Click the OK button. You have completed viewing the demonstration on creating medical records and record keeping. Click Next to proceed. Let's proceed to the next task, registering a complaint and record keeping. Everyone on board has access to the complaint section. As a master, you are responsible for recording crew members' complaints. You need to update and monitor the records too. Click the button to view a demonstration of the registering a complaint and record keeping process. If a crew member has registered a complaint, then as a master, you will get a notification. To view the complaint, click the Crew Complaint Grievance icon on the fixed icon bar. In the Crew Complaint Grievance list window, click the crew member whose complaint needs to be resolved and click the New icon. Double-click the ID number. The Complaint Details window opens with the Details tab displayed. The fields in this tab are auto-populated. You can see who has been selected as supervisor and crew member's representative. The Step Status section on the right shows which steps are completed and which are not. Completed steps will be shown in blue with the checkbox selected. Click the Description tab. This tab has been populated by the crew member who has submitted the complaint. Once you have had a complaint resolution meeting, click the Superior Mitigation tab. Enter the date in the Date field. In the Meeting Result field, enter the resolution for the crew member's complaint. Click the Matter Resolved option. Finally, click the Submit button. This step can also be updated by the selected supervisor on the Details tab. In the Info window, click the OK button. Once the matter is resolved, a notification will be sent to the respective crew member who registered the complaint. The crew member will now be required to accept the resolution in the WinAdme system. Once the crew member accepts the resolution, you will receive a notification and will need to go to the Complaint record in the Complaints section. In the Complaint Details window, click the Closure tab. You will see that the complaint has been closed and accepted by the crew. You can now close and accept by checking the Closed and Accepted by Master checkbox to close the complaint. Finally, click the OK button. The status now changes to Closed. You have completed viewing the demonstration on registering a complaint and record keeping. Click Next to proceed. Which icon would you use to raise a complaint in WinAdme? Click the correct icon on the fixed icon bar. Now let's try our hands on other HR management tasks. Consider the following scenario. Chief Officer Johan Larsson has embarked on the ship. He has set his personal objectives and is awaiting the approval of the Master Supervisor for the sign-on talk to be complete. What will you do to complete the process? Click the task to get started with it. Well done, you have completed the finalising sign-on talk activity. Click Next to proceed.